Here's the story. A mother and her daughter start receiving threatening phone calls and letters from an anonymous person. Even the FBI can't figure out who's behind them. That's not the plot of a horror movie. That's actually what happened in real life to Emmy Award-winning actor Eva LaRue. Now the CSI Miami star is opening up about her years-long terrifying ordeal in a new two-part documentary by See It Now Studios. It's called My Nightmare Stalker, the Eva LaRue Story. It all started in 2007 when LaRue and her young daughter, Kaya, first started getting the mysterious letters and calls. Take a look at just part of the harrowing experience.
My dearest Eva, I will stalk you, punish you, destroy you, and finally kill you.
And all of a sudden, the letters started coming one right after the next.
They were always signed by Freddy or Freddy Krueger.
The FBI's concern went through the roof when phone calls started.
It felt like no place was safe.
Eva LaRue joins us now. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. So let's talk about this stalker, because despite being on a show that rapidly solves murder cases, this stalker was able to be somewhat elusive to the FBI and law enforcement for more than a decade, which is really mind-blowing. How can you explain that?
What was crazy is we, on CSI Miami, we were solving cases in 43 minutes, not including commercials. And
Exactly.
In real life, we did not have the technology we were pretending to have on the show. And here I was a DNA expert on CSI Miami. In reality, DNA CODIS, which is the national database for all, for all perpetrators and that have committed murder or rape, are in CODIS, but up until the advent of 23andMe and Ancestry.com and GEDmatch, which was only like 6-7 years ago, the only DNA that was available were people who, like almost 90% of them were already incarcerated, or they were John Doe rape kits.
Gotcha.
That they hadn't been,
So it wasn't as expansive.
Exactly. So there's no way for them to solve the case because he had no priors.
But I want people to understand how terrifying this was. We see that clip, but he wrote such vile, vulgar, descriptive things of what he wanted to do to you and your daughter. I can't even say it on television. And you describe it as you had nowhere to hide from an invisible threat, stalking you from nowhere to everywhere, that you felt like you were in a prison in your own making. And I don't even know how you raise a child, how you have a career and carry on with your life with all of that hanging over your head.
It was, it's a full body takeover.
Yes.
It really is an absolute rewiring of how you move through your life. There's no way to ever go back to innocence. Somebody had said to me, well, can you move on now? No.
Yes.
I mean, your brain never goes back to not being hypervigilant.
And this stalker, he saw you on All My Children back in the day, and adoration became obsession. And so he just followed you through the years, including then stalking your favorite daughter, Kaya. He started doing that, too.
Yeah.
Which goes next level. He got your home address. He got her school.
We had to move twice.
Yes.
He ultimately found her high school and called the school pretending to be her dad and told her to stand out in front of the school. He was going to pick her up.
Yep.
And then...
and what he wanted to do to her.
And what he wanted to do to her. And the things are they're heinous beyond.
And this was affecting you physically, hives, hair loss. Talk about it.
My eyelashes fell out. I was broken out in hives all over. There was no place to hide because you don't know where he could be. So you really are in a prison of your own making because you are trying to be 4 steps ahead of what he could do, and those possibilities are endless.
But police kept saying there's nothing we can do because he hasn't done anything. That's the thing that got me.
And this phrase, a crimeless crime.
It's like
he couldn't do anything
because the crime hasn't happened yet.
Yes.
But in reality, of all the women murdered in the United States every year, 86% of them were stalked first before they were murdered.
Yes.
So the escalation rate on stalking is insane, and it's going to happen. It's not going to just be a crimeless crime. It's eventually going to be a real crime.
But you had Epiphany. You go to Italy, to a friend's offers you to go to the lovely villa, by the way.
Right, it was beautiful.
To get away and escape. And then something happened there, and it was life-changing for you, how you looked at this.
It really was. We fled. When this was first happening, I was climbing out of my skin. I didn't know how to protect my daughter. I didn't know how to protect myself. And a friend of mine said, you know what, when CSI goes on hiatus, come for the whole hiatus to my house in Italy. So we jumped on the next plane, packed it up, went out there. We weren't there 36 hours. In the middle of the night, It's like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I have jet lag, and I'm kind of awake and rolling around. The bedroom door opens up, and it's lit from the back. So you know how you can't see somebody's face if they're lit up from the back?
There was a break-in in Italy.
Yes, there was a break-in in Italy. But he was right into our room with me and my daughter, 10 feet from the bed. And the next and I thought it was my friend Max, because I kept saying, Max, Max. And he closed the door and he went away. The next morning, Max came running into the room and said, oh my God, we had a break-in. Somebody, and I said, wasn't you who came into the room last night? So
but how was that an epiphany for you, though?
I felt like it was literally at that point, because all I had done was pray all day and all night for months at that point for some sort of guidance. And I really felt like it was my answer. That God literally said in that moment, if I wanted you dead, I'll follow you to Italy. He came 10 feet from our bed.
Right.
And so I felt in that moment, oddly enough, this weird sense of peace. And that was the first time I could kind of take my life back.
I'm going to take my life back. I'm not going to live in fear. It was not the stalker, by the way. It was just some, it was some random guy.
Yeah.
But cut to where we are now. They caught him through DNA.
Yes.
And he was sentenced to 3 years, but he's now out.
He's out.
So do you feel safe, Eva, knowing that he's out? And we'll probably see this documentary.
Safe. I don't think we'll ever feel safe. And when he was being adjudicated, when we were at the FBI courthouse, he said in his speech, I hope you guys can forget about this and move forward.
What?
What?
Right.
12 years of our life has gone now, like 15 years of our, and he's out now.
And we are telling the story why? Because do you worry about it opening another door for you? I was wondering.
Yeah. We almost didn't do it. We almost didn't do the documentary because, and I see now why a lot of celebrities don't ever. They just hope that it goes away, that they stop obsessing. But obsession is a mental health issue.
Yeah.
They just move on to a new obsession.
Something like this is like your first tattoo. It may fade, but it will always be there.
Yeah.
All right, Eva LaRue.
Glad you're okay, and Kaya too.
My Nightmare Stalker, the Eva LaRue Story, premieres Thursday on Paramount Plus, which is part of our parent company.
We are proud to say.